50 Cent suggests that Jay-Z could be the next major name to face scrutiny after Diddy. According to the claim, Jay-Z may have allowed Diddy to take the blame while quietly distancing himself from the situation. Even though Jay-Z was often seen at the same events and was mentioned in several legal filings, he never showed up in court, and those making the claims later pulled back. There were no public statements, no major consequences, just silence. This raises a serious question. Was Jay-Z simply present during these events, or did he play a behind-the-scenes role in how Diddy's downfall unfolded?
That the same concept with the Super Bowl. See, they don't understand the relationship. They was trying to get him to do the Super Bowl without me.
Wasn't happening.
And that's not it. It wouldn't happen.
No way.
You see what I'm saying? Because he would look and go, it's okay for them, the award shows, not to give me the trophies. If you look at even Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they would give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just keep.
The tension between 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and Diddy goes back many years. It began when 50 openly mocked Jay-Z, calling his image and success into question. From 50's perspective, Jay-Z was never someone who faced problems directly. Instead, he believes Jay worked quietly behind the scenes, using influence rather than open conflict. The claim is that industry connections were used to block opportunities, limit exposure, and quietly weaken rivals. At one point, 50 says Jay's entire team released projects at the same time as his, allegedly to slow his rise and hurt his results. In 50's version of events, this explains everything. He believes Jay-Z and Diddy didn't reach the top through music alone, but by controlling the field and making sure others couldn't advance alongside them.
You know, I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit, and it was over, and it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America could be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift.
I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody.
And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
No, we'd have had all.
He says he recognized the strategy early on. From his point of view, Jay-Z and Diddy tried to overwhelm the market by releasing too much at once, making it harder for others to be seen. While publicly talking about unity and progress, they were allegedly working behind the scenes to stop new names from breaking through. That contradiction never convinced 50. To him, the pattern was clear. Any artist gaining real attention quickly became a problem. He believes Jay and Diddy pushed back against anyone who tried to succeed without their backing. If you weren't aligned with their circle, opportunities seemed to disappear fast. Lord Jamar later shared a similar view, saying there was a powerful inner group controlling the industry. According to him, companies acted together, access quietly vanished, and if the top players didn't support you, your career could stall before it ever had a chance to grow.
Couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel, and Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing that. like, oh shit. Like I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like I was always close, and I always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was gonna buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and BBC, you won't, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, Dame would know better than.
From the very beginning, 50 believed Jay-Z acted more like a gatekeeper than a supporter. Instead of opening doors for other black artists, he claims Jay worked to limit the opportunities they already had. One example often mentioned is the Super Bowl performance. According to 50, Jay tried to keep him off that stage. If Eminem hadn't stepped in, 50 says he would have been left out entirely. Eminem reportedly made it clear to the NFL that he wouldn't perform unless 50 was included. That moment changed everything and, in 50's view, revealed just how far Jay-Z was willing to go to maintain influence and control.
Big homie Jay-Z, right? I said to my nephew, I said, yo, listen, I have to ask him this straight up. So I said, yo, why? Who is the people that's on NFL? And he said to me, and I'm sorry for anybody who don't understand. And he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. And he said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That's beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Your guy.
Me.
Let's make him live.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some haters. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted them there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1 with the 50 Cent.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What? Was that 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole
50 was always competition for niggas. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after this. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came. And people might get on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro. Yeah. Nobody has had the effect.
Jay-Z and Diddy rose through the industry using a similar path and have been closely connected since the 1990s. But when Diddy later found himself under intense pressure, Jay-Z appeared to keep his distance. Some claims even suggest he may have quietly stepped aside as events unfolded. Consider this. Reports say a major news outlet held onto footage involving Cassie for many years before releasing it. That raises questions. Who decided it should stay hidden for so long? And why did everything come out all at once? The sequence feels carefully planned. The timing seems too precise, too well-aligned, to feel like pure coincidence.
Who was kind of like, we're done with this guy. You're not back. You're threatened to say this. Release the footage, right? So they released the footage. He comes out, issues an apology. While his lawyers accuse the government of leaking the tape, it was later admitted as evidence in his trial. Again, January deal. March is raiding his house, Miami and LA. May, here's a video being dropped from CNN, even though they've been sitting on it for 8 years. September 2024, book is released, Kim's Lost Words, which, by the way, there's a lot of speculation with this thing here, so whatever I'm reading is not necessarily 100%. It is there, it is not there. The alias they use on who wrote the book is Shanti Millwood, which is an alias for Tupac, which is kind of weird. Why would you use that? This book appeared on Amazon, allegedly written by Kim Porter, accused Diddy of misconduct with minors. Porter's children denounced it as fake. Investigators revealed the real author was Chris Todd, who claimed he compiled the book from a mysterious...
Many people within the industry believe Diddy didn't fall by chance. Behind closed doors, the talk is that he was singled out. One moment, he was treated as untouchable, praised, celebrated, and publicly honored. Then suddenly, everything changed. His reputation collapsed, his career stalled, and reports say enormous wealth disappeared almost overnight. A shift that dramatic doesn't feel random to those watching closely. To them, it looks deliberate and carefully timed, as if a decision was made and every move followed in sequence to bring everything down at once.
Surprised at what things are coming out with Diddy at all, or you're like, you have no idea, it's none of my business, you'll live longer? Kind of like the mindset.
Surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? You know, hip hop is the Wild West. So you're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
You think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this stuff, this domino effect happen.
50 Cent says he saw what was coming long before it happened, and he didn't keep that belief to himself. He openly joked about the situation, suggesting that Jay-Z was the one quietly pushing events forward behind the scenes. From 50's point of view, none of it was surprising or emotional. It followed a familiar pattern. To him, it was just another example of how power works in the industry, and another moment that confirmed what he believed all along.
With Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like
that's right. To us, black excellence, right?
That had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Come on, bro.
From 50's perspective, it doesn't take much effort to see how wide Jay-Z's influence reaches. He has always viewed Jay as a sharp strategist, someone who plans every move carefully and treats relationships as part of a larger business picture. To 50, nothing is accidental. Everything ties back to money, access, and leverage. He even frames Jay's marriage to Beyoncé in those terms, calling it more of a business arrangement than a love story. Supporters of this idea point to the numbers. Before the marriage, Jay had limited award recognition, but afterward, his wins increased dramatically. Now, even their children are receiving major recognition despite not having released any music. To 50, it raises a familiar question. Are these coincidences, or just another sign of how influence shapes outcomes when someone controls the playing field?
contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, the trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time, he got some shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him like he thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal. So I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, you know, so I was forced to know both sides of the.
What surprises many people is that Jay-Z has never faced serious legal consequences, despite years of rumors and public claims surrounding him. From 50's point of view, Jay was accused of similar issues as others, but handled things very differently. He believes Jay was more careful, staying quiet, avoiding public interviews, and never saying more than necessary. Unlike others, he didn't leave behind recordings or statements that could be used against him. These doubts didn't begin with Diddy. Critics often look back to a highly publicized incident in late 1999 involving a music executive at a New York club. At the time, it made headlines, but the story quickly faded from view. For those who question Jay's rise, it's another moment where controversy appeared, yet lasting consequences never followed.
A top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a person.
Diddy also faced serious controversy years ago in another widely discussed case that ended without a conviction, similar to what happened with Jay-Z. But looking at the present, the difference is striking. Diddy is now dealing with severe legal trouble, while Jay appears to have completely distanced himself, as if he was never closely connected at all. Critics say that explanation doesn't add up. These were two of the most influential figures in hip-hop, business partners who moved together for decades. The idea that one knew nothing about the other's actions is hard for many to accept. That's not a story 50 Cent believes. He said he only met Diddy once and immediately sensed what kind of person he was dealing with. From his point of view, it didn't take years, wealth, or insider status, just one brief encounter to understand the situation.
Each other business-wise for a long time.
Oh, that's why it's only business. It was really, away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards. Or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. Now, like,
And when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, "Yo, I spent $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this, and it's in it only because he's uncomfortable."
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big name.
Within the industry, none of this was ever a secret. It was widely known. People like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal, who worked closely around Jay-Z and Diddy, have shared similar accounts for years. The stories were already circulating. The warnings were not subtle. The issue was never a lack of information, it was a lack of concern. As long as money kept flowing and business stayed strong, leadership chose not to intervene. The focus remained on revenue, not accountability. For many watching from the inside, success mattered more than the people affected along the way.
Has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
Diddy, according to those watching closely, isn't planning to fade away quietly, and he's not allowing his story to be rewritten without response. Reports suggest he may be preparing to push back. Media outlets claim that government officials have been privately discussing the possibility of official relief, with some sources saying a decision could come very soon. These rumors have circulated for some time, but now they're described as gaining momentum. If something like that were to happen, it would completely change the narrative, turning what many saw as a one-sided downfall into a much bigger and more complicated power shift.